I was 185 pounds when I started my keto weight loss journey. I had already lost some weight. I was trying to keep from gaining all the weight back all the way to 200 pounds. So I've been struggling to get down from 225 pounds on and off diets from my 30s and 40s and into my 50s, and then even getting on the HCG diet, which got me down to 145 pounds, and I gained it all back. It's heartbreaking. I know how it feels. I know that it doesn't work to count calories and to do gimmicks. But what does work is creating a lifestyle around an anti-inflammatory diet. It's not about calories to lose weight as a woman over 50 and menopause. I did not lose my 100 pounds by counting calories. When I counted calories and tried to just get some movement, I would lose a little bit of weight, but I would always gain it back. And so it was not permanent weight loss. It was not weight loss that was going to actually heal your body. When we are overweight, we have inflammation in our body. And weight loss is not about counting calories. It's about reducing the inflammation in your body so you could be healthy to lose the weight. Hi, I'm Lori Blue, functional diagnostic nutrition practitioner, here to help guide you to have your best life, to live active, age beautifully and adventurously so you can reclaim the health that you want to have. And you need to know that you just can't count calories and be healthy. It doesn't work, because if you're not being nourished, if you're not nourishing your brain, then you're not going to have the health that you want to have. If you're starving your body, counting calories, and perhaps over exercising when your cortisol levels could be too high or your thyroid could be deficient, we need to actually look at your hormones to see how to guide you, to get you to a healthy state, to let your body relax and let the weight go. I know that's kind of a simple statement maybe, but from all the labs that I've been watching, from my own lived experience, and from working with my clients, you cannot lose weight when you're in a state of stress, when your cortisol levels are too elevated, and when your thyroid and adrenals are burned out and your body is in a starvation mode. And so weight loss overall is not going to happen if you don't address the underlying root causes of why we gain weight. And one of the big ones of why we gain weight is because of inflammation. And that inflammation is created in our body because we have too much glucose in our blood. When you have a lot of glucose in your blood coming from refined carbohydrates, from carbohydrates eaten all the time, because you're prioritizing carbohydrates and counting calories over prioritizing fat and protein, that's what's going to cause you to have more inflammation, because you have an elevated blood sugar dysregulation. When you are only eating mostly carbohydrates because you're cutting back on fat and protein, thinking that's what you need to do to cut out the calories to actually lose weight, what you are doing is telling your body to just burn what's in your blood system. You're not going to be going after stored body fat. You want to go after your stored body fat, right? That's how we lose the weight for good. If you just lose muscle and bone mass, as in Ozempic and these other processes that are our low-calorie starvation mode, you just lose fat, you lose whole body mass. And then when you get to a point where you feel like you've lost some weight and you're succeeded, you're maybe 10, 20 pounds down, then all of a sudden you go back to doing what you were doing, have a glass of wine, have a bite of this, bite of that, and then all of a sudden, boomerang, your sugar switch is turned back on and your body is ready to start to gain the fat. But it doesn't gain back your muscle and bone mass. And that's the tragic part about this. So when you're a woman over 50 in menopause, we don't want to lose our bone mass. We don't want osteoporosis. You don't want to lose your muscle. That's your longevity factors. You need to keep your muscle. So to lose weight properly and practically, what you want to do is reduce your blood sugar, rebalance your blood sugar, get your blood sugar levels low on a low-carb diet. This is what works for women over 50, low-carb nutrition. Then you'll be nourishing your body. And as you're nourishing your body, your liver can then function better. And so you want to actually reduce and reverse fatty liver, because you've got it. If you have weight gain and if you're in 50s, you have fatty pancreas that needs to go away. A lot of the lab work that I'm looking at is showing pancreatic insufficiency. So therefore, when that is happening, and what I'm noticing is coming from people who are on a predominantly carbohydrate-based diet or the standard American diet, where your insulin levels are turned on all the time and you are burning sugar. But when you're burning sugar, you're in an inflammatory state. It is maybe hard to understand why you're in an inflammatory state if you're perhaps eating this food that is stated to you by the government, right? Okay, so you're eating the South American diet. They tell you to eat 12 servings of grains, all the fruits and vegetables, eating a predominantly sugar-based diet. But our blood system can't have more than a couple teaspoons of sugar in our blood at any one time. So when you inundate that, you end up having fatty liver, pancreatic insufficiency, and fatty pancreas, and your insulin levels are just turned on all the time, and you become insulin resistant because your body cannot have it. It's too much. As you get sick, you start creating inflammation in your body. Well, what's happening too is you're insulin resistant. And when you have insulin resistance in your brain, you can't actually burn the glucose that people tell you need for your glucose is not getting into your brain cells. What will is ketones. So when you stop being a sugar burner, reduce the sugar load in your body by having more carbohydrates, what you're going to get is ketones to the brain. That's what's going to turn your brain back on and make you feel better and have your cognition come back. I'm seeing this in the labs. I'm seeing it with my clients. This is not something that's new. It's just something you may not have heard about. But I want you to understand that if you're going to be counting calories, that's one thing. But you need to not count calories and leave your fat and protein out. Those are your macronutrients that your brain and your body need to detoxify and to nourish your body for love. You need cholesterol. Did you know your D3, that critical nutrient that we need for our bones, for metabolism, for every receptor site in the body needs D3. You can't get it if you don't have cholesterol in your body. So we need to look at how are we going to nourish our body to be able to get the nutrients we need to have natural weight loss. And so weight loss as a woman over 50 in menopause can be very powerful. And it does happen. I did that. I was 185 pounds when I started my keto weight loss journey. I had already lost some weight. I was trying to keep from gaining all the weight back all the way to 200 pounds. So I've been struggling to get down from 225 pounds on and off diets from my 30s and 40s and into my 50s, and then even getting on the HCG diet, which got me down to 145 pounds. And I gained it all back. It's heartbreaking. I know that it doesn't work to count calories and to do gimmicks, but what does work is creating a lifestyle around an anti-inflammatory diet that is whole food nutrition, coming from the food that we were designed to eat, our ancestral-based diet, which is low-carb nutrition. If we eat ultra-processed food and even just too many carbohydrates, we could lose some weight, but you're not going to lose the weight that you want to have, and it's not going to stay off. When I work with clients that don't cut their carbohydrates all the way down, they don't get the results that they want to have. To get weight loss results in your 50s, we are insulin resistant, because our hormones are low, because estradiol is low. You don't have a lot of estradiol. It makes a big difference. This is the number one critical thing that women that are different from premenopause to menopause is we do need hormone balancing. We need to balance our adrenals and our thyroid. We need to actually get healthy to lose the weight, finally and for good. And once we get to 50s, all of a sudden it's almost like a magic switch. We're just ready to do this. You know, the kids are grown. They're maybe out of the house. They don't need as much one-on-one attention. Now you can spend that one-on-one attention to yourself and get your self-care that you finally need. And what's really cool about this is when you do low-carb nutrition, and even when you work with somebody like me as a practitioner who has that lived experience to guide you in the direction that you need to go specifically, because I use all of my lived experience to guide you. It's really cool to be able to look at your health intake and all your metabolic chaos going on in your body when I do your adrenal and thyroid questionnaire and find out where you need to go, what's happening, how you feel, and what needs to happen to get you to be healthier again. So those are some of the things that I analyze and look at and help you create and reclaim your life so that you can turn off your inflammation. Then we use 6 diagnostic labs to find all your hidden healing opportunities. You get to self-test to find out what's going on in your body. And I just had a analysis last night, and we were looking over everything, all of the liver markers that were elevated in the red. Decreased pancreatic function. I've seen worse. I've seen pancreatic insufficiency. When you have a whole lot of oxidation and liver dysfunction showing in the labs, those are weight loss blocks and they need to be addressed. Sometimes what's happening is when you have H. pylori in your stomach, you may not even know it. You're not able to absorb your nutrients, your minerals, You have low stomach acid. It's a big weight loss block. It's a big health block because you need stomach acid for digestion. In this whole process of not counting calories to lose the weight, what you need to do is turn off the inflammation in your body and get your body to work for you. But if there's weight loss blocks and hidden dysfunction, you could be on a carnivore diet and it's not going to work for you. You could be on a keto low carb diet and have been doing it for years and be stalled out and think it's not that the diet's not working. You just haven't found your hidden healing opportunities to figure out how to fix those, unblock them, and correct them with targeted supplementation or lifestyle changes to get your body back together again. And so you can count calories, but it isn't going to give you what you need to correct the health of your body if your body is declining. If you're having cognition issues, you don't feel like yourself, you've lost your motivation, you don't even have the energy anymore to even exercise, or maybe you've got too much pain and can't focus. All of these things are happening. That's why it's really important to work with a mentor or another practitioner to really get the results that you want to have, to collapse the time it takes to get healthy. That's what's so really interesting about this. And I didn't lose my 100 pounds by counting calories. I never counted calories. I wasn't able to. I would focus for a short period of time, but then not do it. I just followed the food bridge concept that I've created that is just keeping everything low carb. That's what I like to talk about, because we could be low carb, we could be keto, we could be carnivore, we could just be meat-based, diet-centric. All of those are good places to be, wherever you need to be and whatever you feel good. But what if you're stalling out and not getting the results you need? What if you want faster results so you can get the weight loss this year and get your body to be healthy so you can then do the next level? See, I help you with those foundational steps. That's why counting calories doesn't work. I remember a client telling me she counted the calories. She went on a work loss challenge to lose the weight, and there was a pool of money, and she won. And you know what she said? I didn't lose the inflammation. I didn't lose the gut dysfunction. I didn't lose my symptoms that I had in my gut, and my brain didn't feel good. So losing weight on a low calorie process doesn't give you the health that you need. And so what I focus on with my clients is a weight loss and diabetes solution, which ends up being your disease solution. Because when we look at ourselves, we can see inflammation in our face and our neck, and we just know we don't feel pretty and we don't feel good in our body, and our brain's just not there. We don't have the motivation. We're sick and tired. We just don't feel good. All that brain fog. We can't even get up and get outside and get that movement we want. I get it, because you're not getting energy to your brain cells. No ketones are getting into your brains because you're not creating any. When you have a glucose metabolism and you're a sugar burner and you're insulin resistant, which is what most people are, 88% plus of the American people are overweight, unhealthy, and have insulin resistance. And you might even be slender and still have insulin resistance. I see this all the time with cognition dysfunction. What we have to do is find your inflammation and turn it off. The only way to turn off inflammation in your body is to take out the inflammatory processes and unblock what's blocking your way. And this means we have to get your liver functioning. We have to make sure your stomach's functioning. We have to turn on digestion, correct digestion, make sure your bile acids are working correctly so that you can absorb fat, so that you can absorb protein. I see it time and time again with that protein and fat malabsorption in the lab work on carnivore. So you have to focus on these little bits of things when you're starting out on a weight loss journey. Getting started is great. Staying the course is another thing. And understanding what you're doing is part of a lifestyle change and creating a lifestyle of aging beautifully and adventurously so that you can maintain all the results that you're going to have. So you get those ketone energies, turn all of that on and feel amazing, stop the craving, stop the hunger, turn off the inflammation, turn off the pain of inflammation, reset your metabolism, get that blood sugar regulation just balanced. That's what I want everybody to be able to do. But you can't do it if you're counting calories. What you do in the beginning is eat a nutrient-dense diet. You bring in good fats, and good fats are your animal fats, like butter, ghee, coconut oil, and helps you have less risk for dementia. It's very important to have this in our diet. These are certain tips and tricks and hacks that we can do to make our brain work better, to get the ketone levels that we need to have. And to get your hand held by a practitioner who's lived this experience and lost 100 pounds is priceless, because I'm going to take you where you need to go. And you don't even know yet where you need to go because you don't know what you don't need, what you don't know. That's where I'm here for, to take you where you need to go, to help you get the results you're looking for. And when you have cognition, it's a lot harder to focus. You need somebody's hand. If you don't feel like yourself, and you feel like you're struggling and have brain fog and don't have the energy you need to be the person you need to be at work, in your relationships, in your daily life, and to show up for yourself, which is even the most important thing, think about what it is that you want for your life and your vision. Counting calories doesn't give you health. It can help you lose weight in the moment, but you will not be able to turn your brain back on, completely reduce the inflammation in your body, and lose weight permanently. When I was on a low-calorie diet in my 30s and 40s, I could lose a little bit of weight and then I'd gain it all back. And you know what never went away? My asthma, sinusitis, bronchitis, my allergies and inflammation, and my depression never left my body until I did a keto diet. And this is why it's really important to understand the nature of an anti-inflammatory, low-carb nutrition to heal your body at the cellular level, to get your mitochondria back on track. They're the little energy drivers in our body. If your mitochondria are less or deficient or sick, you're not going to have the energy you need for your brain. It's so important that we have that, but we can get that all back. It's called mitogenesis. There's lots of tips and tricks that we can do to get our brain back on board. Food is 80 to 90% of the process. And then we have to use diet, sleep, exercise, movement, circadian balance, targeted supplementation, everything that functional diagnostics stands for, getting your body back into homeostasis so we can heal quickly in 6 months rather than struggling for years. I had a client come on board at the beginning of January, and she'd done carnivore. She did great. She corrected a lot of things in her body. She was on fire. She corrected her endocrine system. A lot of that showed in her lab work and in the results she was doing and how she felt. But her weight was stuck. She gained 5 pounds. She felt frustrated. She ended up having more depression and more feelings of not feeling good in her body. But her diet was dialed in. So these are the things that we're going to look at and take a look at. I am going to meet you where you're at, take a look at what you're doing, and help you course correct so that you know what you can do next and get the quick results. And she did. Can you imagine after a year on carnivore, gaining the weight and feeling frustrated, gaining 5 pounds when you weigh 130 pounds, 2.5 pounds down in the first week from one situation change that I tuned into just to help her course correct. There's just some things that we need to think about how our body works and how to regulate fat metabolism. Fat is an endocrine system. It has nothing to do with calories in and calories out. It's an endocrine system. It's a body part. You can't just shrink your fat. You have to tell it what you want it to do. You'll have to guide it into doing what you need it to do. If you want to burn your body fat, you got to get your body to burn your body fat. If you want your brain to work so you don't have cognition, it's not about reducing calories. It's about adding in the calories, the right calories. But you have to know what those are. We have to feed our brain. We have to feed our body. Getting started is great. But if you want to get started and have quick results, run labs, find out what all your hidden healing opportunities are and what all your weight loss blocks are. We could do that this year and get your body back on track so much faster than if you were to do this all by yourself. And that's my specialty. That's what I help you do. Don't struggle with calories in, calories out, trying to diet and over exercise. I had a client that did that. And then the first stressful movement that came around, like, the big C back in 2020, she gained it all back. Can you imagine how heartbreaking that is? I've done it before. Lost 60 pounds and gained it all back. Nobody should have to suffer like that. It's awful. But she's finally switched to keto, burned off 58 pounds last I saw her, and then got pregnant. Now she's having a baby because she could. But it lights my heart up to know if she doesn't have to waste her 40s, lose her 40s to being obese, sick and tired and frustrated and struggling and fighting. We all struggle and fight for our lives on a daily basis, but it doesn't have to be hard. You're not alone. You don't have to do this alone. You do not have to do this alone. You can have somebody help guide you. It is worth the investment in yourself for your self-care to have a staycation, a health adventure experience, to not have to struggle and count calories, and to actually get your body back on track. You might not move the scale. I've got a client that the scale doesn't move, but she's feeling slender, better energy in her body. She's noticing all the good things that are happening. And I'm super stoked for her because she's starting to notice it. Sometimes the weight on the scale doesn't move because you're just losing body fat and maintaining muscle mass. That's a good thing. We want body composition overall in our 50s and in menopause. We want to not have osteoporosis. We want to not have any muscle wasting. You count calories, say hello to osteoporosis and muscle wasting. That's sarcopenia. And the women who are counting calories and not getting their protein in are the ones that are going to be frail in their 50s and 60s and 70s and 80s. Frail and sarcopenic, where you have no muscle mass. You can't have longevity with that eating style because it eats away at your brain as well. We can't see into our brain, but you could feel how you feel. And you can get rid of those as well and get your body back on track. So, not about calories. If you're going to count calories, well, that's one thing. It depends on where you are in your diet and lifestyle. First, you have to get healthy to lose the weight. You have to fix your endocrine system. You have to turn off the inflammation. And then we use fat as a lever, bringing it up, bringing it down, depending on what your body's doing and how your brain is functioning. Then we can look at calories. But overall, it's not the calories per se that you need to worry about as much as when you eat and how you're combining your food so that you could get maximized weight loss, like the lady I told you that lost 2.5 pounds in the first session with me. There are so many things that we can do. We can biohack so many things. I spent a decade learning all of this, or longer. I spent the last decade hanging out with Dave Asprey in the Bulletproof program and applying all that information to my body and getting the lived experience that I needed to help guide you today. And prior to that, it was just studying ancestral health, diet, nutrition, living all the diets, failing them, and building this bulletproof mindset of certainty and conviction to know this is what I know and understand for women over 50. If you are not on a low-carb diet, you will not have longevity. If you have a body that is obesogenic, you have to be on a low-carb diet. There's no other way around it. But I have 3 slender clients. And guess what? The cognition is suffering. We need to build our brain. You can't count calories if your brain is suffering because you'll have more problems. When your sugar switch is turned on, your disease switch is turned on. We want to turn it off. I want you to know you can turn it off. I'm just graduating one of my clients from last year. I'm so excited. Not only is she grateful to have her cognition back, she didn't know she would ever live into her 50s because most of her family ends up dying young because they have Alzheimer's in the family. But the thing that's in common with most families is the cultural diet and the insulin resistance. As long as you're insulin resistant and eating a diet that is high carbohydrate, you're going to have more dementia issues and Alzheimer's factors developing. When we get our brain back on track, we get our body back, we turn off the inflammation, we could correct so many different things. Even urinary issues that have been chronic for years can disappear. She got that too. I don't have asthma anymore. If you have asthma and congestion, we have to look at what you're eating. That's why I run a food sensitivity test. There could be candida, dysbiosis, H. pylori in the stomach, blocking your digestion, blocking your weight loss, but not just your weight loss, reclaiming your health so that your body works the way you need it to. So you have energy and motivation to get active. How would you like to reclaim your second half of your life? How would you like your brain to be working and no brain fog and you're just energized, excited? Even when something is like, well, now I have to have a longer commute, but oh my gosh, I get to explore now. That's what one of my clients said, because they get their energy back, brain energy back. It's so important. The only reason I am successful today is because I switched to low-carb nutrition and got my brain energy back. And I never gave up. I followed the people who were successful and I did what they did. And so that's what we need to do too. I can still do that. I still do that to this day. That's what you want to do as well. And if you would like to have help and get your health on track this year, stop counting calories and find out exactly what it is you need to do. Find out what your weight loss blocks are and what your hidden healing opportunities are. Run the 6 labs. Invest in you today, you this year. You're worth it. I'm here for you. Just have to contact me, DM me directly under this video and just type in the words test or weight loss and let me know you're interested. And then also you can go to my website. There should be a link under this video, but there'll be a link at my website as well, and book a call. I'm here for you. I don't want anybody to have to suffer. Everybody has the right to live, but we have to turn your health back on so that you can. And in your 50s and 60s, it's not inevitable that we're going to have a body that falls apart too early in life, but let's put it back together as best we can sooner before you have more problems. We just want to get healthy to live life excitedly. I've got you. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.